I am passionate about education in New Hampshire. First of all, I have found New Hampshire to be a wonderful place to educate children because we have so much support. The parents are just so giving. The teachers are highly skilled. Our children really want to learn, and we all work together as a collaborative to make things really very special for kids. So I would not want to be in any other state other than the state of New Hampshire in pursuit of the best education we can put forward for our students.
You know, when you ask that question, I think of the people that I see every day. I think of the kids that I come in contact with, the FIRST robotics programs and other STEM education programs across the state. And I think of all the businesses that I go to each and every day, and I honestly think that it's the unbridled opportunities. So when I think of education in this state, I see the unbridled opportunities that our children have for the future if we just take a moment to invest our time and our resources.
Okay, education, doing what's best for the students, because in this tremendous amount what's going on in the world today, you have to meet the needs of all kids no matter what their needs are. And that's difficult, but that's the focus that I would think we need to concentrate on.
Education to me is developing relationships with students, teachers, and families, and creating a positive environment for our kids in our classrooms.
So education in New Hampshire means a dynamic opportunity available to all students everywhere, regardless of zip code.
The thing that we have to keep in mind is that with these efforts, we all share this common perspective about students, and I think these efforts bring this common premise to the table, and I sometimes think about this as that immovable object, right? And that is the premise that we can somehow manage our students as homogeneous cohorts of kids, that there is some consistency among those kids, and there is some consistency, but not enough that you can lump them together and imagine that they're all the same. I know many of you guys are saying, like, this is the Teacher of the Year celebration. Where is he going with this thing? Well, I'll tell you where I'm going with this thing. And I tell you this because it relates to the reason why we're here. Our educational leaders, our Teacher of the Year, and our Teachers of the Year, some past ones in the audience here, they know what it takes to try and break through and get that job done. Strong teachers know that one size does not fit all. Strong teachers recognize that students are individuals and we need to find ways to engage them as individuals. Strong teachers know that students, the children, are inherently curious learners. And our job, our challenge, is really to find a way to harness that curiosity and help bring children to bright futures.
We started our year in February by going out to Google headquarters, and there's 3 different campuses, and they took us to all 3. And we worked with Google for Education people. They are doing a little YouTube series about voices from the classroom, and if you have spare time, go check it out. And we went to some area public schools, we went to some charter schools, and we talked about, just what are you doing here that is so wonderful. So we also were hosted by the Vice President at their house, and this was my first lesson in one of my big takeaways this year. Sometimes you have to go right up to the people who might intimidate you a little and just ask for what you need. And I went right up to her and I said, thank you so much for hosting. I love the story of your pet bunny. Marlon Bondo has his own Instagram page. There's books, and she went upstairs and got that bunny for me. And there we are. And she was lovely. She was a former educator and was very supportive of what we were doing.
Oftentimes I try to put a word to a feeling or something I'm going through in life, and so I was kind of mulling about the speech, and I'm like, what word sums up what I'm experiencing right now? And so that word for me is just blessed. I'm blessed to be here tonight with so many great people, past Teachers of the Year, colleagues that I admire most, family, and I loved hearing Cindy tell little snippets of the finalists' stories. And so tonight I'm going to share a little bit about my story and just what makes me tick. I'm proud and honored and humbled to be selected as your 2019 Teacher of the Year. And one thing that I promise with all of my soul is I'm going to try my best to represent New Hampshire and make everybody proud. Students' lives, like our own, are sprinkled with defining moments Some are good, some bad, but nonetheless, there are moments that have helped shape who they are and who they'll become in the future. At church recently, our pastor said something that resonated with me. He said, "You can't love what you don't know." And it seems so simple at first, but at the surface, obviously, we can't love a state until we visited it. We can't love a sport until we've played it. We can't love a hobby until we've experienced that. We can't love a car until we test drive it. So many different things. Similarly, we can't love our students that are in our care until we truly get to know them. So that's one thing I pride myself on, is really forming relationships early on. Like shards of glass in a great mosaic, these children's experiences, unknown to us when we first meet them, have been strategically placed to create the child that now stands before us. Slowly but surely, through conversations, observations, laughter, and of course teaching, we begin to start knowing what makes them tick. What are they interested in, both in school and out of school? What are their home lives like for these kids? And how do those circumstances of their home lives ready themselves for learning? These relationships that we build with the kids make the foundation, one that will support our bond for the year, but hopefully our bond forever.